won the Best Actress award that night, one they give out every single year. So it wasn't like she overcame some sort of man hurdle to achieve the award and to win. No, she was the most talented actress according to the Academy that year, and she won an Oscar for it. So why do you have to make some sort of big deal about it? And here's the other thing. For all of the women out there who...
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, March 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,329 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $10,894. Antiwar.com reports addressing the Iraqi parliament's call last week for a specific timeline for all foreign troops to withdraw from Iraq. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said there were no plans at present to leave Iraq and that troops would stay as long as necessary. His assessment was not couched as defiance, however, nor did he take the U.S. position that the deployment is permanent. Rather, he claimed NATO has gotten a written request from Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi to keep troops in the country. Details on this written request are unclear, and indeed, its existence wasn't even made public until now. It is likely that a similar request exists for U.S. troops within Iraq as well, given how reliant on overseas deployments Abadi was during the fight against the Islamic State. The statement by Iraqi's parliament suggests they weren't apprised of this request either, and that inevitably raises the question of whether Abadi is empowered to unilaterally give permission for open-ended foreign deployments, a question that's likely to be raised among Iraqi members of parliament as the deployments get further and further past the end of the conflict with the Islamic State. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Bill Cosby will again go on trial to face rape accusations after attorneys from both sides attacked each other's credibility in a Montgomery County, Pennsylvania court hearing on Monday. Cosby's team, led by defense attorney Thomas Mesereau, whose former clients include Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, and Robert Blake, said the case against Cosby should be thrown out because the prosecutors allegedly destroyed evidence and encouraged Cosby accuser Andrea Constand to lie under oath. NBC News reported at issue was defense witness Marguerite Jackson, a former co-worker of Cosby accuser Andrea Constand. In a statement, Jackson said Constand told her she could extort a celebrity by accusing them of drugging and sexually abusing her. The prosecutor's investigators interviewed Jackson and were successful in getting Jackson barred from testifying during Cosby's trial, but Cosby's defense team accused them of destroying interview notes. Defense lawyer Kathleen Bliss said they went and interviewed her, so they knew that she completely repudiated Andrea Constand's statement accusing Mr. Cosby of misconduct. In response to the defense team's accusation, Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin R. Still said the defense attorneys are lying and that they should be thrown off the case due to their incompetent and unethical methods, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer. After hearing both legal teams shoot each other's credibility, Montgomery County Judge Stephen T. O'Neill was unconvinced by either argument and decided to let the case proceed with the attorneys on the docket. The trial will begin April 2nd. Although dozens of women have publicly accused Cosby of sexual abuse, Constand is the only one who has a criminal case against him. That case ended in a mistrial due to a hung jury last June. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Ford Motor Company said it will temporarily lay off 2,000 hourly employees at its Michigan assembly and stamping plant in the town of Wayne as the factories undergo retooling to build the Ranger pickup trucks and Bronco sports utility vehicles. The layoffs will start in early May and last through October, according to a notice filed by the number 2 U.S. automaker. Ford Manufacturing and Labor Communications Manager Kelly Felker said in an email, employees who are temporarily affected will receive approximately 75% of their take-home pay if they have 1 year seniority, adding the affected employees will all return to work either at Michigan Assembly or at another Ford facility. The announcement comes as sales of the Ford Focus small car currently built at the plant have slowed down. Ford had previously outlined a plan to retool the plant for the new Bronco SUV, but had not yet disclosed a specific schedule. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Saying that he was giving his coworkers at Marley Publishing just a few more days to catch on to him, local mentally unstable man Michael Redding told reporters he planned on exhibiting 1 or 2 more warning signs this week before, quote, finally doing this.
I think I'll do just a couple of disconcerting things in front of people here at the office. Maybe give them a day or two to take action through the appropriate channels. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm going through with it.
The fully unhinged Redding, who plans on, quote, making this thing happen sometime next week, claims that despite displaying erratic and worrisome behavior around the office for the past few months, his actions have gone completely unreported by his coworkers.
I definitely talked about my frustration with life in general, and I even discussed my fascination with all sorts of violence. But that still didn't throw up any red flags. We'll see if anyone catches on.
Mike? I don't know him super well, but he's nice enough. He's quiet and he keeps to himself mostly, but I'm sure he'll come out of his shell. Just a matter of time.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
the Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
You know, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads. Now, evidently, my cyclone...
All right, welcome here to this live Tuesday afternoon edition of the Call to Freedom, broadcast live here from the Vertcoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, we're joined in studio today by, he is the chair of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire and I'm not sure what to call you, of the New Hampshire Liberty Lobby, Mr.
CEO.
The CEO of the New Hampshire Liberty Lobby.
It's just Liberty Lobby LLC.
Okay.
Not New Hampshire. There's no New Hampshire in the name of that.
My bad. We've got him in studio. We've also got on the line live via remote our classic crew.
It's better than dead via remote.
Right. Mr. Tom Gray.
And we'll see if the audience agrees in a couple of hours.
Right. And Miss Aria Demezio of cryptocurrencycheck.org. How you guys doing tonight? Hello.
I'm doing great.
Well, I'm not sure whether to share something with you guys or not, because you guys would be the absolute first ones to know. But my radio audience is my support structure.
Ooh, tell us.
So... If this does not turn out, this is way early to tell anyone else about this, but my mother-in-law knows, so people I actually like might as well know. So, as I've mentioned, my wife and my kids are visiting my in-laws until Saturday or Sunday. I got a text from my wife at 2:20 a.m. yesterday, and all it was a photograph of a positive pregnancy test.
Whoop whoop!
Congratulations!
Right, Mabruk.
Well, I mean, it's really early. You normally wouldn't mention this to anyone, but I mean, we're both on the north side of 30, so of course all the risk and everything go up.
Hey, that don't mean nothing. I've got let's see, I'm
714 children.
I do.
Seriously, you're very productive.
And my wife is 2 years younger than me, so I'm 37, and that makes my wife 22.
Good job. You can math.
Yeah. But yeah, so both of us are north of 30 as well, and I would say half of our kids were born us north of 30. I mean, she was 34 and I was 30. No, she was 33 and I was 35 when Hidayah was born.
Yeah, it's just our current kids are 5 and 4. You know, our oldest is about to turn 6, so there's going to be an age gap if all things follow through. But to be perfectly honest, I'm pretty freaked out. We weren't trying.
It happens.
Well,
we weren't either.
We weren't trying with either of our other two.
We weren't trying.
We weren't trying with either of our other two either.
Yeah, you were practicing.
Yeah, target practice, as it were.
Yeah. I'm a pretty damn good shot, it turns out.
It's all that time at the range, you know?
Oh, yeah, too much time at the range.
So, I'm not going to mention it again for a while. I wanted to get it out there to somebody because it was killing me.
Good.
But it's the kind of thing that for some reason it's easier to tell people I do live radio with than to tell, like, my dad.
It's all right. Then the country can keep a secret.
I mean, y'all already know more about the substance addiction that I recently got past than most of my family does. So why not know about this too?
Congrats, man! Definitely congrats.
So and then I cut off Arya's introduction there. I think I'm sorry, Arya.
No, I was finished. Things good down here.
Right. So, well, I got a story, guys. This is, a
bigger story than Tom's having another baby?
Yeah.
I would say when I'm not planning on having kids, I tend to take precautions so that doesn't happen. So, maybe
there
something to think about.
There it is, you judgmental McJudgyton, you.
We tried to be careful by, just barely ever having sex. It didn't work because basically what would happen was we would have sex because we would be so busy with babies, we'd have sex once every 3 or 4 months, and
good Lord, well, no wonder
she would get pregnant. Boom.
You weren't it doesn't work that way. You're not abstaining, you're just loading a new bullet in the cartridge every day, and then when you finally do hit the range, you're way more likely to hit something.
Next up on Maury Povich.
It's a minigun.
The mating habits of America's favorite redneck Muslim.
Right. Well, man, when you got as many kids as I do, if you and your wife have the time to smile at each other as you pass each other in the hallway for longer than 3 seconds, you remember that, you know? So if you do any more than that, you also remember that. And it was one of those things where it'd been forever, probably 6 or 8 weeks, just because we just didn't have the time, because I'm working 2 jobs and I'm doing the activism thing and probably running for office and, all kinds of stuff going on at the same time. And she's like, so I'm pregnant. I'm like, how? We haven't. Oh, wait. We did.
That one time,
huh? And we have 3.
It was the night you cooked the falafel.
It was 3 out of 5 kids that are like that. 3 of our 5 children are, no, you remember? Yeah, 6 weeks ago, the last time. Yeah, the only time in the last 3 months. Yeah, I know.
Well, we weren't doing totally without. I mean, after our last one was born, she had an IUD put in.
So did Farrah. Oh my God, I hate those
an
things.
IED.
Oh, they're these awful things.
It may
with
as
a
well
wire, and they poke you, and it's horrible.
Yeah, but until the wire gets settled. But you see,
and then a car drives by the street corner and it goes boom.
I would, I sometimes I want to go boom.
Your metaphors are mixed a little much there,
For real?
We're
2 years in, Tom. I would hope it's settled by now.
But it's
it is. It's like having sex with somebody that has a time bomb shoved up inside of them.
Yeah, she had hers removed, and it was actually a big
Watch
deal.
Watch this be the one day my wife's actually listening at home. I get home, she's gonna kick me in the balls. Oh my God.
Hi, Farrah.
Hi, honey.
Yeah, we haven't been quite as private about that part, about the IUD part, because it's such an ordeal when we got it out that we've been sharing the cautionary tale ever since.
Yeah,
and
awful.
we actually thought that we were done without having any choice in the matter. We were actually getting ready to get tested. And then this happens. So I guess we don't have to pay for the fertility test anymore.
Well,
just for a live birth, which is even more expensive.
All right. Well, congrats to Tom on his possible new little one. When we get back, though, we've got some of the realities of the harsh world out there. What happened to the 92 Somalis that ICE left shackled for 40 hours? We'll answer that question when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
That's so disgusting. We'll be fine. Let's party.
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And are you new to the cryptocurrency industry game? Are you interested in getting invested, but you don't even know what a candle graph is, let alone want to spend hours and hours reading one?
What is?
A candle graph.
Oh, that's that weird thing that I've seen, but I have no clue what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, Helium takes care of that for you. It's really simple. It's powered by Uphold.com, and instead of an investment, they call it a savings accelerator. It's a bot that watches the values between regular fiats and cryptocurrencies, and then it moves your money when the timing is just right. It's pretty simple. You just load up your account via either a bank card or your digital wallet, and you just set it and forget it. It's like the crock pot of cryptocurrency. Helium lets your money move you. So go over to helium.com/CTF. That's HELEUM.com/CTF. Sign up and get a great offer for being a Call to Freedom listener. Now, I'm joined in the studio today by Daryl Perry from the Liberty Lobby, along with our normal classic crew, Mr. Tom Gray and Miss Aria Demezio. And, well, I've got a story here from The Intercept. And it says, ICE shackled 92 Somalis for 40 hours on an airplane on a failed deportation flight. And, well, that was just the start of the abuse. For a brief moment on December of 2017, the international spotlight shined on the case of 92 deportees who were on an immigration and customs enforcement chartered flight to Somalia. Most such flights unload their human cargo once they land. But this flight, for
human cargo.
For logistical reasons, this flight returned home and brought witnesses back with it. The Somalis told of abuse on the flight, saying they were shackled with chains on their wrists, waists, and legs for more than 40 hours, forced to urinate in bottles or on themselves, and that ICE officers beat and threatened some passengers. ICE has denied that it mistreated detainees on the flight, of course.
Of course they are saying, we didn't do nothing wrong.
Well, I mean,
we just need to rename the federal government Didn't Do Nothing.
There we go. Yeah.
You're aware of the Didn't Do Nothings, right?
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff goes bad. Didn't do nothing.
Right. There we go. I like that. From now on, cops are dindus. We're just going to take the alt-right's word away from them. Just so you know, guys, you cop authority worshiping, I can't say the word that I want to say after that. We're stealing your word. And from here on out, police officers and government officials are dindus. I think that's a new from now on. We you know what, Tom?
We are culturally appropriating.
We are
their
culturally
word.
appropriating their word. Tom, Aria, let's get some memes out there. We're going to do what the left does, and we're simply just going to literally redefine the word. And just decide, you know what? It's our word from now on, and we've decided it means this.
It's our word.
That's right. We own it.
I don't believe that one can own words.
Well, I've decided that we can because I'm the king of Peru. I'm a purple penguin from Peru. We're doing it like the left today, man. You just have to shut up and check your privilege because I'm a purple penguin from Peru now.
All right, you can be that, but you still can't own words.
I've decided I can.
Yes,
so.
you can. It's called a trademark.
Yes, because we're left now.
Right,
and
we're left.
And
we're
let me
lefties
tell
now.
you. Let me tell you
so
something
that means
else.
we own whatever we decide we own.
Right. That's why,
Not only can you own words now, we are now a first to file country. So even if they invented the word, if we file that we own the word first, we own the word.
Right. That's why, who is it? Apple owns all rectangles with rounded corners. Amazon owns all photos with white backgrounds.
I love it.
What the heck are you talking about?
These weird copyrights
Stupid trademarks that have been where Apple took Samsung to court several years ago because Samsung smartphones have rounded corners and they're rectangular.
They stole that they stole that pretty directly, and that was patent. That wasn't owning a word. That was owning a design.
I don't think anybody
words are much
owns
easier to
the
register.
word has,
Right,
has
so
copyrighted
that's
the
why-
word Dindu yet. So
that's
I say
why-
we copyright it and then go write a Wikipedia page. And
while you're doing
an
this,
Urban
I am on
Dictionary.
ImageFlip making the meme right now.
Yeah!
Do you remember a couple of years ago when Susan G. Komen and Victoria's Secret went to court with one another over the word pink?
Yeah, I
because
know.
the Susan G. Komen color for the cancer thing is pink. Victoria's Secret has that lingerie line. And they're like,
Lingerie.
we
What
own
did you
all
just call
kinds
it?
of things.
Lingerie.
Lingerie.
What line?
Lingerie. Yes, I know. That's not how it's
Wow.
pronounced. It just sounds funnier. But they took Susan G. Komen to court saying, we own pink, you can't use pink. And that's why the singer uses an exclamation instead of a letter I because, it can't be sued over that.
Oh, my Lord.
I don't think any of that is accurate. Anyway, we were talking about...
And then there was somebody that sued the
We were talking about a serious
Livestrong.
news story.
Right.
And then...
Says,
yeah,
even
well, that
after-
was the biking people. They sued Livestrong because, of the doping. Okay, go ahead.
No, because of the color yellow for the bracelets or something.
Even after the spotlight dimmed, the abuse continued. The Somalis are still being held at the Chrome Detention Center and the Glades County Detention Center in Florida as their lawyers try to fight their deportations. At Glade, where half the group is still being held as of March 4th, 2018, when this story was printed, they have claimed of a litany of abuses, including violent assaults by guards, denial of medical care, lack of access to their lawyers, and no racism in Florida? Never.
Wait, they're racist in Florida?
Right? The guards and the administration up there at Glades, they think they're immune. To me, it's so brazen to be doing this. They know there's a federal case. They know we're up there all the time. They know that there are investigators up there, said Lisa Lanner, an attorney at the Americans for Immigrant Justice, one of the groups representing the Somalis. They called them niggers. They called them boy.
Whoa, can we say...
And I'm pretty sure in the context...
He's quoting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the context of a quote, we should be pretty safe.
All right, so here's the
We'll
thing.
make sure, man.
Whether you can or whether you should are two completely different things.
Well, the should is
Well,
taking
I would
care
say
of
the
it,
answer
fact
is
that he's
yes to
quoting someone
both.
else.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, these
yeah.
are American official guards that are looking over these ICE detention detainees, and they're calling them boy. And this is something we should all be talking about. It should be front page news.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Following the news this week that recording artist and industry magnate Bob Dylan would be laying off 2,000 workers from his Muscatine, Iowa songwriting factory in an effort to streamline his music-making operations, The Onion spoke with veteran factory worker Travis Felton, who received a pink slip earlier today.
I've been working on the lyric assembly line for 25 years now. Punch in each and every morning, make sure the words are complex and poetic. And yesterday, the foreman calls me into his office to tell me that the company is reducing headcount. They're giving the whole rhyming section the boot. What Mr. Dillon and the other suits don't understand is that here in Muscatine, songwriting is all we have. And we've been doing the best damn Dylan songs in the world for over 50 years, and now they're trying to take that away from us. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Well, I guess I could see if they're hiring over at the Tom Petty factory in Hurstville. Lord knows I hoped it'd never come to that.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom.
Live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. So I've got Daryl Perry from the Liberty Lobby in studio right now, and live via remote, we've got the classic crew, Tom Gray and Aria DiMezio of cryptocurrencycheck.org. And well, we've been talking about this story, or trying to at least, about ICE agents. Well, they just don't seem to have very much in the way of good manners. Not surprising for people whose job it is to break up families. I'm sure that you need a special kind of lack of moral character and conscience to work for something like an organization like ICE. Shows here, they sling racial epithets, saying things to detainees like, "We're sending you boys back to the jungle." An ICE spokesperson in Miami's declined to answer questions about those complaints coming from the Glades, citing pending litigation. The treatment of the 92 Somalis, both on board the ICE chartered plane and at the Glades detention center, is not a case of a few operators gone rogue, and exposes the very limited avenues for accountability available to those who are abused in ICE custody, as well as the particular vulnerability of those who experienced aggression on their way out of the United States. Now, this is what I was told when someone said, when basically I've been congratulated by a number of people on the right for following the law. Now, had I not complied, or let's take it even further, there was literally an emergency situation where we had just bought a new van for our family. We had just had a new baby about 3 months before that, and we got a letter in the mail that said basically you got to start all your immigration paperwork over with, and probably be a good idea to get a lawyer because you're going to have to file this other paperwork you don't even know anything about, because if you don't, in 10 days, armed men are going to come to your home and they're going to subject your wife to what these people are talking about right here. And I didn't have money. We had to rely on the kindness of a family friend, or my wife would have been deported 10 days later. I would, and this is what people congratulate me on. Like, oh, you followed the law. No, I didn't do this. Like, what are you congratulating me for? I did this because if I didn't, my wife would be treated like a modern day slave,
right?
Like human chattel, as they took her back to the country that she came from after they held her indefinitely.
While leaving the children here.
Yes. Or I could have paid to have the children go over there with them, but I can't get a passport. So that would leave me without my wife and without my children, or leave me with my children but without their mother.
Right.
All, of course, made better by throwing $3,000 at the U.S. government. And then, of course, all of those bad things went away because I had $3,000 to throw at government goons to get them to leave us alone. Basically. I mean, the long and the short of it, the honest truth of it. If you've got an opinion on immigration, give us a call, 603-283-6160. Says here, let's see here, Rebecca Merton, program coordinator at Community Initiatives for Visiting Immigrants in Confinement, or CIVIC, said that there's a logic to the mayhem. The abusive conditions eventually wear down the will of detainees to stay and fight their deportation orders in court. One way that ICE, and particularly Enforcement and Removal Operations, an ICE suboffice, achieves its goal of mass deportation is by subjecting people to indefinite detention in terrible conditions without any source of hope, or sometimes even outside contact. Basically, in the United States, they violate the Constitution because
they can.
Yeah, there you go. Because they can. Because pieces of paper don't actually limit government.
You don't say.
It says,
perish the thought.
2 weeks after the failed deportation flight, the 92 Somalis sued ICE for inhumane conditions and egregious abuses on the flight and asked the court to halt their deportations. As the plane sat on the runway, the 92 detainees remained bound, their handcuffs secured to their waists, their feet shackled together. The complaint, filed by a team of lawyers from an immigration clinic at the University of Miami Law School, Americans for Immigrant Justice, the James H. Binger Center for New Americans at the University of Minnesota Law School, and the Legal Aid Service of Broward County reads, when the plane's toilets overfilled with human waste, some of the detainees were left to urinate into bottles or on themselves. ICE agents wrapped some who protested or just stood up to ask a question in full body restraints. ISIS agents kicked, struck, and dragged detainees down the aisle of the plane and then subjected them to verbal abuse and threats. ICE Air Operations is a division of the agency responsible for deportations and deportation flights. ICE Air Operations personnel follow best practices when it comes to the security, safety, and welfare of the aliens returned to their countries of origins. I guess that's kind of like how the American police follow best practices, like nickel rides and shooting teenagers in the back.
Yeah, we have found that it's best to use these practices because what's the old pirate saying? Dead men tell no tales.
Yeah. Well, a whooped dog usually is quiet.
Well, it's very alarming that they sound so similar to the tactics used for bringing Africans to the New World on ships.
Right, they were
the tobacco slave trade.
Why, Arya, are you saying that the government engages in a modern form of slavery?
Or at least in a modern form of
I'm sorry, wasn't that clear enough? Yes. They have more than 2 million slaves right here in the United States.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, 300 million chattel debt slaves right here.
Well, and 2 million that they are explicit slaves, not even hiding it.
That is correct. The largest slave population of any country on earth. I mean, prison population of... Oh, no, we had it right. Largest slave population of any country on earth. What a full 1% of the population, more than China.
Yeah.
More than China, more than Russia. More than all these countries that we grew up being told how if you fart in a windstorm, they will throw you in the gulag. When the truth is...
Yeah, we did not end slavery during the Civil War. We perfected it to the extent that we could get away with it without people realizing
we found a way to subsidize
it.
Who's this we?
Our ancestors.
We, the American
and the people who voted for, and our ancestors and the ones who voted for, supported. I mean, most of us do not come from non-statist backgrounds. Very few of us come from backgrounds where our parents, grandparents weren't statists. I mean, let's just be honest.
Right.
So, where we came from is responsible for what we're living in today. And it's kind of sad to have to say it that way, but it's just the way that it is. So anyway, we've got more on this story here when we get back. It's pretty disturbing, but we're going to muscle on through it. If you got an opinion on it, let us know. 603-283-6160. We'll be right back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! On your knees!
problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Don't worry about things you can't control. Isn't that what they always say? But it's about impossible to avoid worrying about what's going on these days. The government has used the war on guns, the war on drugs, and the war on terrorism to tear our Bill of Rights to shreds. But you can fight back. The 10th Amendment Center has proven it, racking up major victories. For example, when the U.S. government claimed authority in the NDAA to have the military kidnap and detain Americans without trial, the nullifiers got a law passed in California, declaring the state's refusal to ever participate in any such thing. Their latest project is offnow.org, nullifying the National Security Agency. They've already gotten model legislation introduced in California, Arizona, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas, meant to limit the power of the NSA to spy on Americans in those states. We'd be fools to wait around for the U.S. Congress or courts to roll back Big Brother. Our best chance is nullification and interposition on the state level. Go to offnow.org, print out that model legislation, and get to work nullifying the NSA. The hero Edward Snowden has risked everything to give us this chance. Let's take it. offnow.org.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, we've been talking about this disturbing story here, we being Mr. Daryl Perry from the Liberty Lobby and my classic crew, Mr. Tom Gray and Miss Aria DiMezio from cryptocurrencycheck.org.
Having trouble wording today?
No, I'm trying. For some reason, my brain wants to say anarchist shemale instead of cryptocurrencycheck.org.
Aren't both of those correct?
They are, but we've been promoting her new website because it's more in line with the show itself. So,
and I'm phasing out the former. So.
Oh yeah, see, there you go. So it says here, this story we've been reading from The Intercept. Let's see here. Ooh, wow.
Words?
Oh, okay.
This is a radio show, Will.
Sorry,
use words.
The clients reported, some of the clients have reported that officers on board the airplane, they apologized to the immigrants when they realized that the flight would be returning to the United States. It was not clear whether those who apologized were ICE officers or private contractors. A number of
decent human beings.
Right.
No, I'm going to go with they thought they were screwed.
Yeah, they were trying to be like, I don't want a disciplinary write-up when I get home, so sorry about that, Mr. Black Man, that I just called all kinds of racial epithets and talked about throwing monkeys in the jungle and stuff. My bad, sir. I was way out of line, and I should not have.
I thought you wouldn't be
that.
able to punish me.
Yeah, I said I'm sorry, so that means you can't go tell on me now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole with all due respect, and then you say all kinds
Whatever
of horrible
you want.
stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can just say whatever you want. Well, I said with all due respect. Yeah, and then you said something that implied that I am due none. So
yeah.
I ran over your dog and then set his corpse on fire and threw him on your porch, but I said I'm sorry.
Right? What do you want from me?
That was disturbingly specific, Arya.
Well, I mean, I mean,
Life in Mississippi gets weird, Will. I mean, Tom.
Yeah. I'll go along with that. It says here that a number of major media outlets, including the New York Times, reported on the failed flight. The news was later picked up by the Somali media. Somalis urged in the lawsuit that if they were to be returned to Somalia, they will be killed or harmed due to changed circumstances in Somalia created by the media coverage and notoriety of the aborted and abusive December 7th flight. A team of pro bono lawyers is helping the Somalis try to reopen their past immigration cases in pursuit of immigration relief. An immigration court has agreed to reopen at least one of those cases so far. ICE has been planning to take another shot at deporting the 92 people, most of them men, many of them longtime residents of the United States who had fled the horrors in Somalia and have U.S. citizen family members. In December, a judge at the Miami Federal Court halted their deportations, at least until January 2nd, and that order has been extended as the court continues to weigh preliminary issues related to the lawsuit. The lawyers also filed an administrative complaint with the DHS Inspector General and Civil Rights and Civil Liberties offices, one of the few options available to victims of excessive force seeking accountability. In addition to laying out what happened on the deportation flight, the complaint includes a recommendation for amendments to ICE's shackling policy. Fatma Maroof,
They have a policy.
Yes.
They have a shackling policy.
Yes.
You know, I know it's inappropriate, but I'm just thinking, if any of them are anarchists and they've been told in like the last 2 years, why don't you just go to Somalia? Now they can say, we tried, they brought us back.
Right.
Cold, man.
Wow.
Cold.
I said it was inappropriate.
Fatma Maroof, a professor at the Texas A&M University Law School, wrote in the complaint that medical studies indicate that, quote, the extreme form of shackling used on the 92 deportees could cause significant psychological harm. In the weeks that followed, the Somalis being held at Glades have complained of physical abuse by guards at the county jail that doubles as an immigration detention center. The conditions at the jail, pepper spray as a form of punishment, and lack of access to medical care, to name a few, are the subject of a separate administrative complaint.
Well, pepper spray should not be used as a reward. Hey, congratulations, you did something good. Pepper spray.
Well, I've been in Florida jail before. I was sitting at a table and we were all pepper sprayed because the guard thought we had our blanket on the table playing cards on it.
Yeah, pepper spray is not an appropriate use for that. Like, the only time you use pepper spray is when somebody is unruly and you're not able to actually, get them
I was sick
settled
one time.
down.
Like, I was working as a trustee. They had me working at the inmate farm down in Ocala, Florida. And I was homesick because I had a pretty high fever. And there was an in the jail trustee who basically what he would do was go around and gather up the dirty clothes and the dirty trays and clean the jail cell, the pod and all that kind of stuff. and a guard came in and said, "Hey, inmate, come here." Now, this inmate happened to be literally midstream taking a leak. And all he did was literally, "Hold on, boss. I'll be right there. I'm taking a leak." He turned his head to the guard and yelled across the thing,
"Yep.
Hold on just a minute. I'll be there in a minute, boss. I'm taking a leak." And the guard's response was to charge across the pod, pull out his pepper spray, and hose the man down for talking back.
That's not talking back. That's you responding to basically a question.
I saw it with my
Well,
own
I mean,
two
he
eyes,
did
bro.
speak back. You know, I mean, technically speaking.
I mean, you got to remember, this is the same guard that
Don't
told
you
us,
backtalk me, boy.
This
You
is
got that? Yes, sir. I said don't backtalk.
Right.
Exactly.
This is the
You
same.
acknowledge that I said something.
This is
yes,
the
sir.
Same,
Don't backtalk.
This is the same guard. We used to call him Action Jackson with the Kung Fu grip. And you had to say the whole thing.
It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing.
Yeah. And he came in our pod one day and said, "I know what's wrong with y'all." And this is in like a thick Southern black Central Florida accent. Like
We picked up on that part.
Yeah.
red, like Reddick, Central Florida. Y'all got them demons in here because you don't bleach the floors often enough.
You don't.
What?
I recognize those things as English words, and I recognize that as a sentence structure, but I don't recognize a coherent thought.
I swear,
there.
I'm not kidding you.
Oh, I believe you that somebody said that. I'm just saying there was no thought, but it was a proper sentence.
He told us we
So-
needed to get
so
that,
his
we needed to
thinking
get
was
that mop
that-
bucket and that mop bucket and some bleach in there, because
So Supernatural has it wrong. It's not salt or iron that you need. It's bleach.
You gotta bleach the devil out.
As
you have left me speechless. Bill.
as the guy in that movie said that time. Alrighty then.
They look like mommy after she take her arm vitamins.
What?
Will is just laughing at himself at this point.
Welcome to the show, Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl is continually surprised when he comes on this show and
He
we
is.
do the exact same
I
things that we
know.
always do.
I was in jail in Florida twice. Once for like 21 days and once for like 4 months. And both times were the kind of experience where, like, I grew up in rural East Tennessee and I thought that I had seen the most white trash redneck of all white trash rednecks. And like, I figured I had grown up with the most white trash rednecks of all white trash rednecks. And then
you met Bubba.
Then I moved. Then I went to jail in Florida, and was in a pod with 100 people that made the most white trash redneck I'd ever met in my life look like somebody from Downton Abbey. All right, when we get back here, it's going to be Crypto Hour, so stick around. We'll be back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, March 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,329 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $10,894. Antiwar.com reports addressing the Iraqi parliament's call last week for a specific timeline for all foreign troops to withdraw from Iraq. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said there were no plans at present to leave Iraq and that troops would stay as long as necessary. His assessment was not couched as defiance, however, nor did he take the U.S. position that the deployment is permanent. Rather, he claimed NATO has gotten a written request from Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi to keep troops in the country. Details on this written request are unclear, and indeed, its existence wasn't even made public until now. It is likely that a similar request exists for U.S. troops within Iraq as well, given how reliant on overseas deployments Abadi was during the fight against the Islamic State. The statement by Iraqi's parliament suggests they weren't apprised of this request either, and that inevitably raises the question of whether Abadi is empowered to unilaterally give permission for open-ended foreign deployments, a question that's likely to be raised among Iraqi members of parliament as the deployments get further and further past the end of the conflict with the Islamic State.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Bill Cosby will again go on trial to face rape accusations after attorneys from both sides attacked each other's credibility in a Montgomery County, Pennsylvania court hearing on Monday. Cosby's team, led by defense attorney Thomas Mesereau, whose former clients include Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, and Robert Blake, said the case against Cosby should be thrown out because the prosecutors allegedly destroyed evidence and encouraged Cosby accuser Andrea Constand to lie under oath. NBC News reported that issue was defense witness Marguerite Jackson, a former co-worker of Cosby accuser Andrea Constand. In a statement, Jackson said Constand told her she could extort a celebrity by accusing them of drugging and sexually abusing her. The prosecutor's investigators interviewed Jackson and were successful in getting Jackson barred from testifying during Cosby's trial, but Cosby's defense team accused them of destroying interview notes. Defense lawyer Kathleen Bliss said they went and interviewed her, so they knew that she completely repudiated Andrea Constand's statement accusing Mr. Cosby of misconduct. In response to the defense team's accusation, Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin R. Still said the defense attorneys are lying and that they should be thrown off the case due to their incompetent and unethical methods, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer. After hearing both legal teams shoot each other's credibility, Montgomery County Judge Stephen T. O'Neill was unconvinced by either argument and decided to let the case proceed with the attorneys on the docket. The trial will begin April 2nd. Although dozens of women have publicly accused Cosby of sexual abuse, Constand is the only one who has a criminal case against him. That case ended in a mistrial due to a hung jury last June.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports Ford Motor Company said it will temporarily lay off 2,000 hourly employees at its Michigan assembly and stamping plant in the town of Wayne as the factories undergo retooling to build the Ranger pickup trucks and Bronco sports utility vehicles. The layoffs will start in early May and last through October, according to a notice filed by the number 2 U.S. automaker. Ford Manufacturing and Labor Communications Manager Kelly Felker said in an email, employees who are temporarily affected will receive approximately 75% of their take-home pay if they have 1 year seniority, adding the affected employees will all return to work either at Michigan Assembly or at another Ford facility. The announcement comes as sales of the Ford Focus small car currently built at the plant have slowed down. Ford had previously outlined a plan to retool the plant for the new Bronco SUV, but had not yet disclosed a specific schedule. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A report confirms that many Iraqis are still holding a petty grudge about the U.S. invasion. An advanced alien civilization discovers an uninhabitable planet, and a single woman has a Facebook profile picture with her sister. This is the Onion Week in Review. A groundbreaking study published Monday in the Journal of the American Medical Association confirmed that it is impossible to lose weight. No one has ever done it, and those who are trying should give up immediately. Researchers said that findings conclusively prove that shedding excess weight has never happened, changing your physical appearance is impossible, and that all sorts of exercises, personal training regimens, and diets will never, ever work.
Well, our test results conclusively prove that if you're going to the gym to lose weight, you will fail. You could work out every day and eat nothing, and you still wouldn't lose an ounce. Skinny people will stay skinny. Overweight people will be overweight. It's just how it is.
In other news, an area man is outraged his private information is being collected by someone other than advertisers. And a crowd cheers as this 93-year-old fuck-up finally graduates from college.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. On the Call to Freedom.
All right. So, yeah, that's right. It is a Tuesday afternoon live edition of the Crypto Hour right here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And, well, you know what? I wanted to go ahead and start with this interesting story here. It's people. For me, it's a scary thing. I don't like being tracked. Like, I got this guy, he comes in and he says, I'm just hoping that I'm gonna, come on, brain work. Come on, brain work. I just want you to give us your voice print so that we can make getting into your bank account easier. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to give a company my voice print because, well, companies, they're like, well, we won't sell your information to any company. And I'm like, well, I'm not worried about you selling my information to a company. I'm worried about you giving it freely without any, resistance to government. I don't want government to have this. And because I know you will comply with government, I'm not going to give you this information. Sorry, plain and simple. Well, turns out, your online data, with Facebook, someone says Facebook's the product. No, dummy. Facebook's not the product. You're the product. And this is another story that just kind of proves that fact. Says a data company is tracking crypto adoption using social media. Recently, the audience intelligence company Pulsar published a report examining the mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies. Rather than measure interest using prices, trade volume, and market capitalization, the comprehensive study analyzed data using 5 million mentions across social media from September 14th, 2017 to January 8th of 2018. So, social media buzz consistently stirs cryptocurrency prices. And that's actually something we're going to be talking about a little later. How social media has a huge effect on cryptocurrency prices, whether you want to admit it or not. I mean, I saw a positive tweet about 5 different coins from John McAfee quadruple the value of those coins or more in just a few days. And I also saw a Twitter war between John McAfee and a coin deflate the value of a coin by 2/3 in about 48 hours as well. So social media, has a huge influence on coins and market values. But it's not just that. If bad stories come out about, I don't know, Triscuits, then whoever owns Triscuit, their market value is going to go down, right?
Nabisco. That would be Nabisco.
Yeah, whoever it is. But it says here, in order to study cryptocurrency adoption, Pulsar has researched the subject in a different way by utilizing mentions across social media platforms. In addition to the data provided by Pulsar researchers also used other sources such as audience and Google search data. The report's based on 5 million U.S. English language cryptocurrency mentions throughout a variety of platforms. One particularly interesting find revealed that by over-indexing shows that quite a bit of cryptocurrency conversations are stemming from coastal regions like New York and Washington, D.C. As far as the price of certain digital assets is concerned, patterns in social media suggest signals can be seen that indicate upcoming price movements. According to Pulsar, the phenomenon works both ways, whether the price is sliding downwards in value or rising. Spikes in conversation volume often precede spikes in search volume by 1 full day, and new price highs for Bitcoin by 1 to 3 days. In nearly every case, a rise of 10% more in social media cryptocurrency buzz volume from one day to the next predicts a rise of at least 5% in the price of Bitcoin within the same 3 days. Moreover, in contrast to traditional markets, cryptocurrency trading operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pulsar reports that social media buzz consistently spikes during the evenings and toward the end of the week. Further, cryptocurrency brand names are very prevalent, where the top 10 digital assets are mentioned across social media far more than generic terms like cryptocurrencies and digital assets. Pulsar researchers state that digital currency enthusiasts like to latch on to brand names as some of them may, quote, symbolize certain values. The brand Bitcoin dominates the mentions, but other names like Ethereum and Ripple are very noticeable in online conversation as well. Pulsar researchers also detail the demographics of the people behind social media mentions and their locations. According to the report, most of the online discussions revolve around digital currencies comes from men, young males, and tech-driven. While the majority of social media mentions stem from men, cryptocurrency conversations coming from women are growing. Over 425,000 women have posted about cryptocurrency in the last 5 months. I know my wife and my sister and my mother are all in that 425,000. One of the only visible changes is a very slight decrease in the share of women in the audience. Women were the more vocal toward the end of 2017 as the price of Bitcoin was sharply ascending to 19,000. Detroit loves cryptocurrency, it would seem. The data reveals information on geographical locations which provided insight on where cryptocurrency mentions are deriving from. Most of the locations are major tech-driven markets and a few outliers. Cities like New York, Denver, Austin, Atlanta, Miami, Seattle, and San Francisco. In addition to these, an interesting outlier shows that the economically challenged city of Detroit is booming in cryptocurrency discussion. News.bitcoin.com recently reported on an influx of Bitcoin automated teller machines in Detroit, and the Pulsar report confirms the Michigan city is frothing with crypto activity. So, wow. I'm happy to hear all of this cryptocurrency business, so to speak, going. But let's see here. The most interesting audience is the Detroit outlier, which plays a much bigger role in the cryptocurrency conversation than it does in social media conversations generally. One theory is that the city's turbulent economic history may play a role, pushing a relatively high portion of the population toward a crypto mentality, one where the people are less reliant on banking trust and government bailouts. If you want to get involved, let us know. 603-283-6160. Give us a call. We'll be right back here on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
When commercials come on, don't push the button. Instead, listen. Even if you don't sell things for a living, you're still selling in the various conversations and transactions that make up your busy day. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. So take a lesson from Madison Avenue. Often the fewer words, the more effective the message. Like Jiffy Lube, where you never need an appointment, or the Office Max ad that says, you supply the ambition, we supply everything else. How about online ticket broker StubHub.com, the way in when it's sold out, or CyberCupidMatch.com's seductive, go ahead, it's okay to look. How cleverly and succinctly can you distill your message? For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom, brought to you by Helium.com. Unasikiliza Crypto Hour inayohusu wito wa uhuru, imeletwa kwako na Helium.com.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And we've been talking to this story, basically just kind of going over this the demographic data that has been extracted by Pulsar. Basically, they're tracking social media in order to come up with a formula for how popular cryptocurrencies are in today's market. They close out the article here, this last little bit of information I find kind of interesting. It says the many mainstream audiences are still asking, what is Bitcoin, across social media channels. The study says that the metric holds true for all age groups, but that the 35 to 44-year-old crowd have the hardest time understanding the technology. 25 to 34-year-olds are the ones with the most knowledge of it, and the 45 to 55 crowd, well, they usually question Bitcoin's legitimacy. The report states, that makes sense to me. You know, that's the Cold War generation. You know, they've always been taught government good. You know, hide under your desk, put your head between your legs, and government will save you from a nuclear holocaust. The report states that even though Bitcoin has existed since 2009, the data collected indicates cryptocurrencies simply hit a tipping point in late 2017. Pulsar says that 2015 started to show the first sign of large amounts of cryptocurrency social media buzz. This means either we are 3 years into cryptocurrency's mainstream breakout or just a few months. So what do you think, guys? Give us a call, 603-283-6160. What do you guys think, Tom? Aria?
I'm just kind of listening, fascinated, because I'm waiting to get to this story about how Walton Chain totally screwed the pooch in one tweet, where they revealed that their whole crypto giveaway was a scam.
Right.
I'm far more fascinated by people, totally screwing themselves and revealing themselves to be fraud than anything else.
Well, I thought it was.
That says a lot about me.
I thought that the demographics of what's going on with cryptocurrency would be interesting. If not to you guys, I thought it was interesting, and hopefully our listeners thought it was interesting. If not, then I totally misshot that one. But now you.
No, it's fine. It's all interesting data, but how do you comment on it? I mean, you talked about the privacy concern.
Most of the people that I know in the cryptocurrency industry are between 33 and 40. So I think the whole between 35 and 45 thing is bogus, because a majority of the people that I know in the crypto community are my age. They're 36, 35, 38, right around my age. So I don't agree with that last little bit of the data. I mean, to me, it could just be anecdotal. Maybe I just don't know as many people in the community as I think I do.
You think you're so popular, Will. Turns out,
right? Well, now
you know nothing, Will Snow.
Right. Well, now you're so. Go ahead, Arya.
There are always exceptions to every demographic, but I think those numbers presented by whoever you said it was are probably about as accurate as we could hope them to be. I think about people I know in those age groups, and almost every single one of them that I'm aware of that I've talked with personally has just been repeating that same thing, that they're just sure it's a scam, and they want to get invested because they see all the money that people are making, but they're just so scared to do it.
It's a bubble. It's a bubble.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's maybe the issue is that that's not crypto specific, because our generation is more skeptical of the get rich quick schemes because we've
watched
seen so
our
many
parents lose so much money in them.
Exactly, and continue to chase them and continue to chase after the Joneses, and we're
Oh
a
my
generation
God, we
that
lost
doesn't do
so
that.
much money on the Beanie Babies.
That is so true.
My mom worked at a store that was like a official Beanie Baby dealership type thing, and she had everything, and she got them all at employee discount prices, and they're all worth like, I don't know what she paid for one of them.
Sheesh.
I mean, she's got Princess Diana bears, the big one, the little one. She's got like the rare Grateful Dead. Like, she's got all kinds of stuff, and still, they're not worth nothing. You can get them for like $0.25 a piece at flea markets and yard sales now, But
Yep,
they were
and you
supposed
don't even
to
need
be
a dealer now.
and they were supposed to be like this huge thing, And man, in 2018, they're going to be worth so much change.
I remember, we didn't have cable when I was a kid, and one of the only channels we got was the Home Shopping Network.
Oh yeah.
And they had a show that was for sports memorabilia, but after a while, the whole show was basically
Beanie Babies and comic books.
No, not comic books, just Beanie Babies.
Really?
I mean, it was absurd.
I learned about the death of Superman on one of those before it happened, because they were selling Death of Superman issues on those Home Shopping Networks like a month before the issues came out in stores.
Oh, I learned about it at school. That's because before the actual comic came out, they were talking about it in all the zines and stuff.
Yep.
So I guess that's not super surprising. Comic books. Now, there's another thing that you might have watched your parents' generation lose their butts on. Because unless you've got a Superman #1, they're just a bunch of paper at this point.
Well, now you seem pretty excited about this story about Walton Coin.
Yes.
we've actually got
perversely so
about 1 minute before we go to break. Can you give us a quick setup for what we're going to be talking about with this story when we get back, Tom?
If you are going to rig your cryptocurrency giveaway, lock down your Twitter feed first. And take away the Twitter password from all the stupid people who work for you. Find out why when we get back from this break.
I mean, that's generally good advice anyway.
Right?
Yeah, this is just a specific example. Most,
Oh, Lord. All right, well, we'll see just how dumb the folks from Walton Chain are when we get back here. You're welcome to weigh in as well. 603-283-6160. We'll be back here in just a moment on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live.
There's going to be no food by February.
Oh, that seems a little extreme. I find that hard to believe.
Well, watch it happen. Hope you find Christ.
Oh, good luck, buddy. Thanks.
What really turned me away from religion was the fact that most of them are so intolerant and nasty.
What do you mean?
Your life will suck unless you find Jesus. Well, I had Jesus a long time ago, and he didn't really do anything for me, so I got away from that.
Right, and I can tell you that if you want to have that attitude with people, like, well, you better find Christ, or you're going to burn in hell.
Yeah.
Then
Good luck converting people.
Yeah, I really want to hang out with people like you, there, Keith. I really want to hang out with people like you. So I'm sorry to those good Christians out there listening that aren't like Keith. But it's the loudmouths like Keith that do real damage to your religion and how people feel about it.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.fm. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour. يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.fm.
Live from the Vertcoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium. 47 here on LRN.FM. When you kill the faucet, you call her 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
That's right. This is the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. Well, we are hoping that it will not be BitPlus network satellite any longer. It will be the Zencash network satellite. So that's the hope, at least. We're waiting on those signed contracts to come back, which would be very nice. Very nice. So keep those fingers crossed, or prayers, or whatever it is that you want to do to send positive vibes our way for this contract. We've been talking here about the how social media data has been tracked for cryptocurrencies, and what that data has come out with. But Tom,
I mean, you know what other kind of data they're collecting and aggregating about?
Oh yeah,
everyone, don't you?
Tons.
I mean, recent algorithms are able to predict the chances whether or not someone is going to be gay simply by looking at their Facebook post history.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's scary. And with like a 75% accuracy whether they're going to turn to drugs at some point in their life.
Well, hey, why don't you find something on that, and we'll hit that when we come back in the third hour, because I find that kind of interesting. Now,
oh yeah, they've had it for voting for decades.
Oh,
but they didn't even need social media for that. Like, they can predict with 95% accuracy your voting habits based upon your zip code plus 4, like the extra 4. So is it a privacy concern, or is it just...
Well, it can't be a privacy concern when these idiots are putting out all of this information on themselves.
Right.
Exactly.
True.
That's
the
joke.
It's the stupidity concern of these people who don't understand the power of data mining.
Yep.
Now, Tom, you've got a story over there that you're kind of interested and excited about that is also to do with...
stupid people.
Well,
revealing info.
And social media.
Oh, yeah. From news.bitcoin.com, how a single tweet wiped $90 million off Walton Chain's market cap. From Kai Sedgwick. Digital marketing guides are filled with cautionary tales of social media faux pas that have caused brand suicide. All it takes is an insensitive tweet from a marketing intern to leave a corporation groveling in its stock in the doldrums. It turns out the world of cryptocurrency isn't so different. After sending and hastily deleting an erroneous tweet, Walton Chain, which I assume is not actually affiliated with Walmart, saw its market cap plummet.
For real.
We hope that it's not yet. They may get that idea after listening to this show. Walton Chain saw its market cap plummet by $90 million in the aftermath. The headline for the next section kind of tells the tale of the tape. The cryptocurrency giveaway that was an inside job. Unlike the fake giveaways offered by lookalike Twitter accounts every single day, Walton Coin actually was giving away cryptocurrency. 2.14 WTC to 100 random winners as part of a Valentine's Day campaign. How romantic. There are anyone who studied cryptocurrency will know genuine randomness is hard to attain. There are entire textbooks dedicated to the art of randomly generating numbers in a way that are unpredictable. Somehow, it seems, one of Walton Chain's lucky winners just so happened to be a Walton Chain employee. The incident would have gone unnoticed had the staffer not tweeted their delight at winning from the official Walton Chain account.
Idiots!
The tweet reads, predictably, OMG, weeping smiley face, can't believe I won. Thank you, Walton team. Heart, keep doing the great work. Strong arm, strong arm, strong arm, rocket ship, rocket ship, rocket ship. The tweet was hastily
I'm sorry,
deleted.
are those hieroglyphs supposed to mean something to somebody?
I'm just trying to read the entire story for everyone, Arya. Don't kill the messenger.
No, I'm not. I'm
I
genuinely
know.
curious. You know, when people do that, is that supposed to mean... Because it is. It's modern hieroglyphs. What is that supposed to mean?
Archaeologists of the future will debate this endlessly. And that should make us very, very sad.
They will.
The tweet was hastily deleted, but not before it had been capped, in this case screen capped, and gleefully shared all over the Twitter. While Twitter traders and trolls had a field day, WTC started to dump, shedding $90 million over the next 24 hours. While not directly harming the company, the drop was a clear indicator of how the community felt about the deception. That too is an indicator of how the community felt about the deception.
But was it really deception, or was it just some idiot who, by sheer random chance, won?
Yeah, I'm just not. I was supposed to pause that, not make it do it again.
Because, I mean, when I worked as a slot tech at the casino, I asked them repeatedly, you know, what would happen, theoretically, if a machine hit the jackpot like 3 times in a row? They said, well, we would shut it down because there was something wrong with it. I was like, well, no, there's not necessarily something wrong with it. If you're going by random chance, yeah, it's completely possible that you could flip a coin 50,000 times and it could land on heads every single time. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with the coin. That's what random means. But like, nope, there's something wrong with it. We would pull it. I mean, random is unpredictable.
That's correct.
Sure, but if the machine, you know, hit jackpot that many times in a row and the recipient happened to be the guy who programmed the machine, you'd start to think there was something up.
Yes, that's why I'm asking if it's just this once, or if other employees were the winners as well.
Well, they posted along with the tweet a screen cap of the usernames of everyone who won. So, not totally sure. Oh, wait, no, the article does go on actually to question whether it was as big a deal as it sounds like. So, good catch. It appears that the person, the employee, won a grand total of $47 worth of Walton coin. So the memes mocking this whole thing, it's got, you know, the Bad Luck Brian meme. It's got one of those with Walton coins symbol over his face, and it says, pulls $47 heist, loses $90 million in market cap. Oh, so total boner move there by Walton Coin. Appears to have had long-lasting effects, but maybe was not quite the heist that you thought it was. That I thought it would be, looking at the, you know, looking at the article. But it was sort of a self-heist. It was sort of a self-owned, not as in a cellular telephone, but a self-ownage. No lasting damage was done to the valuation or the company's reputation, but it was still funny.
Of course it's funny. It's hilarious. And once again, it just
It's
shows
actually funnier.
social
because
media has a
nothing bad happened
huge
long term.
influence on crypto.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
And it makes a fiery ring. Bound
bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire, 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 fire.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. It is, well, it's the final segment of the Crypto Hour, brought to you here by Helium.com. Are you new to crypto investing? Do you not want to sit and spend hours and hours reading candle graphs and reading white papers, but you'd still like to get involved in this new cryptocurrency thing? Well, let me introduce you to Helium.com. It's a savings accelerator. And, well, what it does is it's powered by Uphold.com, and it's a bot. And what it does, it watches the values between regular old fiats and cryptocurrencies, and then it moves your money when the time is just right. It's really simple. You just load up your account via your bank card or your digital wallet using assets like Dash or Bitcoin Cash. And then, well, you basically set it and forget it, like the crock pot of crypto investing. Helium lets your money move you. So go on over to heliumwithane.com/CTF. That's HELEUM.com/CTF. Get your great deal as a thank you for being a Call to Freedom listener. So we've got a couple stories here that we're looking over. I'm just, you know what? I'm going to go with decentralized because we have so many people that come on the show during Crypto Hour, and they talk about, well, this is a decentralized this, or it's a decentralized that, and decentralized is like it's like fat free now, or gluten free. It's just it's
real
like,
cheese,
right? It's a buzzword. Bacon. It's a buzzword. Says browsing the latest cryptocurrency projects, it'd be easy to conclude that decentralization is a panacea, a cure for humanity's woes, and it must be surely given that it's a key tenet of every new cryptocurrency and ICO. Without the gospel of decentralization, there'd be no point in launching a blockchain version of Uber, Facebook, Airbnb, or whatever Web 2.0 platform is due for tokenization this week. Censorship resistance is now reason enough to place a product on the blockchain, it seems, even if that product has never been censored in the history of mankind.
Wow.
Welcome to the world where everything needs to be on the blockchain or tokenized. It's hard to say when the
including vegetables.
And
they're censoring our vegetables, Aria.
Vegetables and bananas. Vegetables and bananas. It's hard to say when the decentralization meme kicked in. Like all trends, it occurred gradually and insidiously. So I just made up a word.
I like that word.
Right?
Gradually, insidiously, graduously.
It wasn't in Satoshi's white paper, that's for sure. Words such as decentralize and censorship don't get a mention. The first use of the term in regards to cryptocurrency appears to have occurred on the Bitcoin Talk forum in February of 2010 in response to a post from Satoshi announcing the first automatic adjustment of the proof of work difficulty. Forum member Subiner replied, "How do you adjust this difficult anyway? Administering a decentralized system." 8 years later, and decentralization is the prefix for all things crypto. It's a word so powerful that simply uttering it is a justification enough for seeking $20 million in a crowd sale. The magic word may not have appeared in Satoshi's white paper, but has become a defining trait of cryptocurrencies, or at least it has to the ones that do the more to pay lip service to the concept. It's no coincidence that one of the most heated recurring arguments in the cryptoverse concerns the extent to which major cryptocurrencies are centralized. Centralization's a dirty word around these parts, synonymous as it is with bankers, governments, control, and censorship. What's the point of creating an IoT cryptocurrency with its own direct acyclic graph if it's reliant on a central coordinator or a Chinese smart contract blockchain that can be shut down by a kill switch? It doesn't sound very true to the spirit of cryptocurrency with all its promise of sidestepping oppressive regimes and facilitating peer-to-peer transactions. Put it this way, if Bitcoin came with an off button or was mined by a single entity, shutting down darknet markets would have been a lot quicker and a lot easier. The crypto space has come a long way since the dark web days of 2013. And while the need for censorship-resistant currency and platforms is as important as ever, many ICOs seem to be missing the point. If a token is reliant on the project's founders staying alive or continuing to pay for the web hosting, then it's not decentralized. A truly decentralized cryptocurrency is one that ideally has many nodes and validators as possible, and which will continue to be usable come what may. Subpoenas, deaths, hacks, schisms. If the 200-odd ICOs scheduled to take place in the coming weeks, there are some interesting decentralized projects to look forward to. Shopin, for example, is the world's first decentralized shopper profile built on the blockchain. There's also a decentralized lending and borrowing network called Detarius.
I need to be up there in the studio so that the audience can just see my face being more and more downcast as you continue on about these things being uselessly added to the blockchain.
A video platform called Viewly, a business data network called Loyac Vega, and Git hostings Elcris. Not all crowd sales claim decentralization as their USP. In fairness, CryptoFlix, for example, aims to become a movie streaming and funding platform on the blockchain. Crypto and chill, anyone? Right? Decentralization isn't the be and end all of crypto. Many tokenized projects make no mention of it in their official documentation. Any ICO that does trade on the D word, however, deserves close scrutiny to see whether it has any intentions of making good on its promise. Talking about decentralization is easy. Delivering it, well, that's a little bit harder. So, that's one of the things we love about Vertcoin. Our sponsors here at the Vertcoin studio is when they talk decentralization, they're not just talking. They have it's an open source.
It's actually so open and decentralized that the current development team essentially, just kind of came in and started doing it.
Yeah.
Because no one else was.
Yes, that's exactly correct, actually. Most of the development team are all there as volunteers. Nobody's getting paid. They're all like people who used to mine Vertcoin or are fans of the concept of decentralized mining, and they're just believers in this idea. So much so that they literally give up profits. They say, you know what? We are committed to ASIC resistant mining as a community. And, you know what? Even though there's more money in doing it this other way, we're going to fork off from, and now you have VPN coin. You want to do it again? All right, well, we'll fork off of that, and now you can have the Peer coin. And none of those coins have the value of a Vertcoin at this point. And I'm sure that's kept Vertcoin's price lower than it could be. But that's the kind of thing that they're talking about. Like, if you're going to be decentralized, then there has to be some kind of a dedication, which sadly does acknowledge that there is some sort of decentralization, of centralization, even if it's like, a community, like a small Discord community of a few dozen different people. But if James left, if James got mad or James fell off of a cliff, you would still have dozens of developers. Yeah, God forbid. You'd still have dozens of developers who were devoted to the Vertcoin ideal. And to me, that shows real effort at doing what this article says requires such effort. We'll be back here in just a moment on the Call to Freedom.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, March 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,329 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $10,894. Antiwar.com reports addressing the Iraqi parliament's call last week for a specific timeline for all foreign troops to withdraw from Iraq. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said there were no plans at present to leave Iraq and that troops would stay as long as necessary. His assessment was not couched as defiance, however, nor did he take the U.S. position that the deployment is permanent. Rather, he claimed NATO has gotten a written request from Iraqi Prime Minister Haider Abadi to keep troops in the country. Details on this written request are unclear, and indeed, its existence wasn't even made public until now. It is likely that a similar request exists for U.S. troops within Iraq as well, given how reliant on overseas deployments Abadi was during the fight against the Islamic State. The statement by Iraqi's parliament suggests they weren't apprised of this request either, and that inevitably raises the question of whether Abadi is empowered to unilaterally give permission for open-ended foreign deployments, a question that's likely to be raised among Iraqi members of parliament as the deployments get further and further past the end of the conflict with the Islamic State. For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Bill Cosby will again go on trial to face rape accusations after attorneys from both sides attacked each other's credibility in a Montgomery County, Pennsylvania court hearing on Monday. Cosby's team, led by defense attorney Thomas Mesereau, whose former clients include Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, and Robert Blake, said the case against Cosby should be thrown out because the prosecutors allegedly destroyed evidence and encouraged Cosby accuser Andrea Constant to lie under oath. NBC News reported that issue was defense witness Marguerite Jackson, a former co-worker of Cosby accuser Andrea Constand. In a statement, Jackson said Constand told her she could extort a celebrity by accusing them of drugging and sexually abusing her. The prosecutor's investigators interviewed Jackson and were successful in getting Jackson barred from testifying during Cosby's trial, but Cosby's defense team accused them of destroying interview notes. Defense lawyer Kathleen Bliss said they went and interviewed her, so they knew that she completely repudiated Andrea Constand's statement accusing Mr. Cosby of misconduct. In response to the defense team's accusation, Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin R. Still said the defense attorneys are lying and that they should be thrown off the case due to their incompetent and unethical methods, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer. After hearing both legal teams shoot each other's credibility, Montgomery County Judge Stephen T. O'Neill was unconvinced by either argument and decided to let the case proceed with the attorneys on the docket. The trial will begin April 2nd. Although dozens of women have publicly accused Cosby of sexual abuse, Constand is the only one who has a criminal case against him. That case ended in a mistrial due to a hung jury last June. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Ford Motor Company said it will temporarily lay off 2,000 hourly employees at its Michigan assembly and stamping plant in the town of Wayne as the factories undergo retooling to build the Ranger pickup trucks and Bronco sports utility vehicles. The layoffs will start in early May and last through October, according to a notice filed by the number 2 U.S. automaker. Ford Manufacturing and Labor Communications Manager Kelly Felker said in an email, employees who are temporarily affected will receive approximately 75% of their take-home pay if they have 1 year seniority, adding the affected employees will all return to work either at Michigan Assembly or at another Ford facility. The announcement comes as sales of the Ford Focus small car currently built at the plant have slowed down. Ford had previously outlined a plan to retool the plant for the new Bronco SUV, but had not yet disclosed a specific schedule. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Well, our own Rebecca Mira takes us on a tour of the Olympic Village.
We have a full-size bed, lounge area, showers, plenty of space, which is great because I'm constantly having sex in there.
The Village is a temporary home to the world's most physically impressive athletic men and women. It was important to the Olympic Committee to give them a comfortable, state-of-the-art area to each other's brains out while they're not competing.
We have a pool where they can have a sex, a theater where they can have a sex. All these athletes are hot, horny, ready to go. They deserve the best.
I was in Vancouver where I got eaten out by this French speed skater. I have to say, these facilities are even better, and I'm going to try to a Japanese guy.
You've spared no expense.
These athletes deserve the best. They sacrifice so much for their countries. They deserve to be able to until their and can't take it anymore.
And these facilities won't go to waste. Once the Olympics are over, they'll be converted to a resort where Russian businessmen can come to their prostitutes.
This is the Onion News Network.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Here we go, off the rails. You know, it's time to raise ourselves. It's freedom like you never knew. You're back or past.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Time for the final hour of this live broadcast. So, yeah, we are here again in the Vertcoin studio, and, you know, we like to cover social stories every once in a while. It's a lot of fun to make fun of the social justice and cultural justice warriors out there in America, from the red flag waving Antifa, skinny jean wearing, big beard with a flannel shirt but can't change a tire types, to the red MAGA hat, the whole world is against me because I'm a white Christian male, even though statistically the whole world is actually in my favor. We like to make fun of these guys because, well, even people with stupid ideas deserve to be heard, even if for no other reason than to mock them. Well, Tom's brought us a story from Vice that he's particularly, as a homeless Republican, driven out of the Republican Party by the Trumpkin section of the Trumpkin section of the GOP band. He was mighty excited for us to cover this, so I'm going to give him the opportunity to tell you all about it. Go ahead, Tom.
So, I wanted to make sure I got this right. Headline from Vice: Conservatives are whining because no one wants to date them.
Okay, now hold on. Before we even get started, I'm confused. Conservatives are usually represent themselves as very devout Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Why would very devout Christians be dating? Is that not... Well, isn't that temptation? And
Why
did God not say to avoid even the very appearance of evil? So you have to remember, I went to a Pentecostal church, so I've heard the Christian arguments against dating, and I have to say, pretty convincing. I mean, if you're going to follow basic orthodoxy, Christian arguments against dating are pretty convincing. So I'm going to have to say, I don't understand why Christian conservatives are so worried about it to start with.
Well,
because they're only Christians on Sundays.
For an hour and a half, and that's if they don't happen to be stooping the girlfriend in in the bathroom
or dating one of their congressional flocks,
right?
14-year-old daughters,
right behind the baptismal. Anyway, go ahead, Tom.
So sounds like we've covered all of your objections. So now on to the story. It must be tough being a Republican when your party's president does things like, say, call African nations bleep hole countries, make bizarre phone calls to school shooting survivors, or back up accused
Haiti is not... Hold on. Haiti is not in Africa.
Well, he wasn't just talking about Haiti. Pay attention, Arya.
But Haiti is the country he said that about. I mean, it sounds like the author of this article thinks that if they have a brown complexion, then they must be African.
No, it was Haiti and Sudan. So that's where the African part of that equation comes in. Anyway,
fair enough. I have not seen him say anything about Sudan.
So, aside from whatever moral quandary Trump is putting conservatives in, he's apparently also responsible for screwing up their love lives, the Washingtonian reports. A handful of conservatives in D.C. told the magazine they've been having a real tough go of it since the election. Only instead of living in constant fear of being deported or having to face down white supremacists in the streets, they've just been having a hard time getting laid. According to one unnamed Trump administration official, it's especially hard to land a date if you're affiliated with the White House. Sad! !
Well, if you listen to the media post-election, you would have thought that men were going to be running up and just grabbing women by their vaginas. So I imagine in light of that, yeah, their current situation is probably kind of disappointing.
Most of the people that I know that are hardcore Trumpkins weren't really getting laid to start with. Like Cantwell.
I mean,
it's true. It's so true.
Why are you complaining about something? Weren't you already, why is this
Did
news?
Their blow-up dolls break up with them? What's going on here?
I went to college with these people.
Y'all are being meaner than the article is, and that's why I love you.
Here we go. The Republicans that I know from college that did not support Trump were getting laid when we were in college. Mm-hmm. The Republicans that I knew when I was in college, these are the University of Central Florida College Republicans. the ones that did support Trump were not getting laid when we were in college.
Oh, we're not. You see, I was. But I was not a Trumpkin. I was a
and
Ron
that's the
Paul
same
supporting
thing.
conservative.
Like, let's see, what's his name? Ramon. He is a hardcore anti-Trump Republican. He was pulling down scratch left and right the whole time we were in college. On the other hand, I'll be nice and I won't call him out by name, but he wasn't pulling down any scratch in college, and he went on to become a hardcore anti-Muslim. After the folks that I knew at the college and myself left, he invited anti-Muslim speakers that had been disinvited years previously by the same organization. Basically, after all the folks that we knew left the college, he turned the college Republicans at UCF into a Trump-style Republican group.
Well, it gives a lot of credibility to the idea that these are the types of people who can't stand strong women because strong women say, no, you're a loser and I don't want to date you.
Exactly. Now, can I read some of the anecdotes, though?
Will they be better than our anecdotes?
They will. They're better in the sense that we have like someone actually fessing up to not being able to get laid, and that's more fun than just telling. Like, these are other people who are telling our audience we're not getting laid, as opposed to us telling stories on people who. So, quote, a lot of times you'll connect with someone on an app and they'll Google you, find out you worked for Trump's campaign, and then it's pretty much all downhill from there, the official said. Gutting stuff.
What does America come to? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Even if you're not associated with the current administration or a MAGA hat-wearing Trump supporter, it can apparently be hard to lock down a date if you lean right. A reporter for a right-wing media outlet told the Washingtonian he recently went on a date that crashed and burned once the woman noticed some conservative books on his shelf. Who is this Chase Rachel's guy, she said, and why is he hanging people from helicopters? No,
are you making that up?
That's not in the article. That book's not even out yet. Even though the guy told her he didn't vote for Trump and considers himself a moderate conservative, she ended things there. Quote, she was like, I have to get out of here. I can't see you. And left.
Now, this is college kids that this is happening to, though, right?
No. This is professional working-age men in Washington, D.C. who have jobs with the Trump administration. Like making six figures.
You can't get laid.
Can't even get a woman to stay long enough to read the book.
Then, I don't know, hide the book?
Buy better books.
Buy better books. Buy better books. Buy Aria's book. You can get it on Amazon.
Exactly.
Guaranteed to get you laid by leftist women. I promise.
You go. Right? There you go. All right.
That's probably true.
I wouldn't promise it if it wasn't.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm पे।
We're back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And we've been, we're talking about the fact that Trumpkins, these fools already couldn't get laid. I'm telling, they already couldn't get laid. Why is it news?
Well, being a bald mouth breather, it doesn't help.
Well, I mean, why is it
What's wrong with being bald?
Why is it news that these people that couldn't get laid before Trump got elected can't get laid now that he's gotten elected? Who cares?
Well, it's not news, it's human interest.
Human interest. No, it's let's make fun of the poor schlep who can't get his willy wet. Like, this is why we have school shootings.
Same difference.
People.
That's the most interesting kind of human interest there is.
This is why
if they didn't consider masturbation to be self-mutilation, it wouldn't be such a big deal to them. Right. They wouldn't be out there complaining to the media about it because they could just grab a bottle of Jergens and take care of it. And then they would feel a lot better, and they wouldn't elect stupid people like Donald Trump.
I don't know. I don't think that the guy. I don't know. I know a lot of people that can't.
There's a lot of unpack in that.
Well,
don't say you don't know.
A lot of
the
people
reckless speculation is fun. Why are these people not getting laid?
I know a lot of people who can't get laid. Like, I used to hang out with, they call them the Castle Crowd. Anybody who's from Florida understands what I mean when I say the Castle Crowd. And, like, those people, some of them were very open and like they talked about how they masturbated 3 or 4 times a day. Like they were not feeling any problems in that area of like self-shame for any, and like none of that. And still those people couldn't get laid. It's just they didn't have good personalities or looks or, you know, like what happens sometimes is some people are given personality and some people are given looks and some people are given both. And some people just seem to have neither, because if you don't have one, you've kind of got to have the other. And some poor bastards just don't have either. And, well, they...
Way to make a funny segment sad as crap, dude.
It's true.
I'm not sad.
It's true. They all
sad.
these
I mean,
sad sacks that
I
can't
know
get
it's
laid
true,
got together and voted for Trump.
But it's still sad. I mean, everybody... I mean, legalize prostitution, then you don't have to be charismatic. You don't have to be good looking. You just have to have $20. Problem solved again.
How are you going to get $20 if you don't have any charisma?
Well,
how are you going to get a job?
I'm sorry, you don't
they
need
can work.
charisma
They
to
can work in the
sell
fields
car
with the
insurance.
Mexicans that they don't want over here. You know, they just have to get over themselves, legalize prostitution, and work with the illegally immigrated Mexicans out in the fields for, you know, pennies a day, and then they can get the $20. They can hire a prostitute, and then most of their anxiety, most of their problems, most of their anger will just vanish.
I know a guy back in Tennessee who owns a hardware store. It's the only hardware store in this little mountain town, and he literally has the personality of a box of wet hair. And still, he's a local middle class businessman. He just Harry used to well, he's still the owner of 1470 AM Truth Radio. He is a lunatic, but he's still married. He's still got a woman, you know.
Well, I like what.
I can't.
Oh my God, I can't think. I like what George Bernard Shaw said about marriage. You know, virtually no one is so ugly, so objectionable that they can't get married if they really want to.
I don't think George Bernard Shaw ever got married though. Did he?
Harry is
he didn't want
hard to deal with.
He was a pretty wretched guy.
Harry is.
Yeah, but he could have if he wanted to. I mean, it's really not that hard.
Yeah.
Not to anybody named Barbara. Not after he wrote that play.
If you're bad enough to deal with that, you a national radio show wants you to play them on your station, but dealing with you is such a hassle that once the contract ends, they just don't try to renew. It's just, you know, it's just not worth the hassle.
That sounds like foreshadowing.
No. No, I know.
I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
I know Harry personally, and I may talk to Harry about getting us on. Our problem is that Harry's show is on when our show is on. So I've never approached Harry about putting us on 1470 because he has his own show on 1470 during the same time slot that we are on there in Maryville. So to me, I just didn't feel it was worth our time to even try. Especially knowing that other shows that I know have been on their station as syndicated shows, and dealing with him in a business capacity is such a hassle because you're literally dealing with a lunatic. Like, he makes Alex Jones seem sane.
Wow.
Can you play the Gay Frogs clip?
Right.
Anytime we mention Alex Jones, we need to have that queued up.
Right. They actually, the first time I ever heard Alex Jones's radio show was on 1470 AM there in Maryville. The first time I ever heard Free Talk Live was also on 1470 AM in Maryville, but they're no longer on 1470.
One of these things is not like the other.
One of these things is not like the other. Yeah, Free Talk Live was definitely the out of the box show for James, for Harry's and 1470 Truth Radio, because it was mostly like lunatic conspiracy theory, evangelical pastors warning about the apocalypse.
So it was like Dale Gribble's radio station on King of the Hill,
right? Dale Gribble's radio station. Oh my God. Dale Gribble Radio. Yes. Yes, 1470 Truth Radio is kind of like Dale Gribble Radio. I wonder what's going to happen when Harry dies and somebody else ends up with that radio station.
It'll get passed to a Mexican resistance group.
Oh my God, a Mexican radio station. That would be so funny. Oh my God. Mary would never allow it. Mary would never. You'd have to wait till she died too. Yeah, you would definitely. Yeah, you would have to wait until she died off and like that whole thing was gone before you would be able to do that. Because yeah. Especially like there's a factory, a mushroom factory about 20 minutes from the town I live in, and it's staffed mostly by Hispanics. And they're not particularly happy about, like, most of the really crazy Tea Party people I know through them. Harry is in that case. So like I don't get why it's news that these like absolutely crazy people who couldn't get anywhere before still can't, like, they couldn't get laid when Obama was in office. What's the difference? Now they should.
It's because everyone is genderqueer and homosexual now, and that's why they're so upset. That's why they can't get laid. Although the good women are lesbians.
I'm getting joined by Ellie Granderson. She's going to put a feminine scope on these lace kerchief starbuggers and give us her lady opinion. Ellie?
Hi, Joe.
You know, it riles me up every time you walk in here, Ellie. You set my blood to dancing with all your pillowy parts.
Oh, stop it, Joe.
Now give it to me, no fimble famble, Ellie. When we start dusting these rocket boys' lily white bottoms with baby puff?
Joe, since the end of the Cold War, NASA has basically functioned as a giveaway to the American aerospace industry, wasting trillions of taxpayer dollars every year on extravagant programs with no tangible benefit.
Fine as a plum to look at, all the sense of a badger to boot.
Joe.
Now I've been thinking on, I got these three little chickens pecking on my head. We'll save NASA some coin. Man wants to go to space, can strap on the helmet, climb in the cannon, let the Chinese gunpowder carry him off among the stars. He'll come back now. Gonna skin a fox in one throat, and you're gonna fancy on it.
This is the Onion News Network.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Armistice Day was a day dedicated to world peace, a day to perpetuate peace through goodwill and mutual understanding. This sentiment was lost when Congress renamed the day in 1954. So Antiwar.com is reclaiming November 11th as Armistice Day, a celebration of hope and peace. Antiwar.com has been battling the war party for 22 years and has always been on the cutting edge of technology in this fight, having accepted Bitcoin donations for 5 years now. Antiwar.com is diving deeper into the cryptocurrency movement by adding Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and Zcash to its digital currency donation options. And to celebrate, Bitcoin.com has pledged $20,000 in crypto matching funds through December 31st. Help Antiwar.com accelerate into the future with a cryptocurrency donation today.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, joined live via remote by our classic crew, Tom Gray and Miss Aria Demezio of CryptocurrencyCheck.org. And, well, Tom just couldn't pass up the opportunity to take some shots at Trumpkins, which, you know, like, this is why we have school shootings, man. Like, these guys couldn't get laid, and now we're going to make fun of them on national airwaves, and some poor Trumpkin is going to go, like, shoot up a college tomorrow, and they're going to try to take my AR-15 because of it.
Well, that's a dumb thing to blame, to be honest. If you... Oh, I think something important is happening involving a certain faucet.
I do. I hear it. I hear a leaky faucet going off somewhere in this place.
Well, anyway, but what we were talking about it somewhat as we poked around this story, being politically conservative has not really by itself stopped anybody from getting laid. It's supporting someone who very specifically advocates for touching women without their consent.
Well, yeah, but didn't you just say that they didn't even have to be a pro-Trump? They could just be like a moderate conservative, like
it's once they find out that you are a Republican in Washington.
Okay.
You could, because at that point you are a collaborator, and you know what? That's still legitimate. That's why. You know, I've kind of eschewed the label of homeless Republican because it's not even true anymore. Homeless indicates that I would think that the Republican Party would be my home again at some point, and I have absolutely no reason to think that. If you are in Washington, D.C., and you are identifying yourself still as a Republican, that indicates to other people in Washington, D.C., that you think there is some advantage to continuing with that association. And that may be fine for your political career, but for a woman who, first of all, being in Washington, probably has her own political aspirations or ties to the government or an NGO, you're not only communicating what you're willing to tolerate as far as behavior towards women, you're communicating what you're willing to tolerate as far as the opportunities not to be afforded to women, specifically the women you are trying to bed. Now, when I was in law school in particular, you know, I was a Ron Paul conservative at the time that Dr. Paul, you know, this was during his 2008 run for office. This was when the questions were hot and heavy about the Ron Paul report that was out in the late 80s where you had white supremacists writing for it. So it wasn't exactly like it was a politically safe position to be a fan of Ron Paul in that atmosphere. But at the very least, the one thing you could say about Ron Paul was that he's pretty nice to women, being an OBGYN and having a reputation for, doing his job
Good
well.
bedside manner as a man delivering babies.
Exactly. So at least there was that. At least, he was a kind figure, even if you didn't agree with his politics.
Yeah.
You don't have that anymore with the Donald.
No, not at all.
You've got the opposite. You've got someone who takes a lot of pride in not caring about the advancement of women or about the general position of women in society. So you're fighting an uphill battle there, Spanky.
Right.
I don't know why I assume that one of these guys is called Spanky. I do assume
there's
a Trey in there somewhere. There's a Trey. Trevor, Troy, one of those names, but definitely a Trey.
Winston.
Plus there's also the fact, this is another layer to it, is that guys try to get around this apparently by hiding on their profiles that they have these connections either to Trump himself or to the Republican Party. Well, that just means you're deceptive, and there's nothing that will turn a woman off faster than being deceptive. So if you're going to work for the Trump White House, you've at least got to put it out there and let those women self-filter. If you're lying about it, then even the women who might be willing to tolerate it are going to gather two things about you. First of all, you're dishonest, and second of all, you're doing the wrong thing and you're doing it anyway. And that's just not going to work out. But as we alluded to, I think you're right to say a lot of these guys probably wouldn't be getting the something in the first place. Well, long term. Short term, they might be getting the hookup. But in the long term, I'd say their relationship prospects probably weren't good just because they're not high-quality individuals. I think maybe their association with Trump is just accelerating that realization.
Yes.
Among the women that they're around. And for that, they have no one to blame, really, but themselves.
Well,
they want to blame. They blame, some people who have read this story have said, "Oh, it's cause liberal women these days." All the women that I dated before my wife, all of them were politically liberal. They knew that I was a libertarian conservative. Usually on the first date, we would have a pretty good, strong argument about politics. But I would show respect for their personhood and for their beliefs. And if I thought they were completely factually wrong, I would show them. And you know what happened? This conservative got plenty laid, even though I am fat and ugly and had a big old bald spot that my ponytail wasn't fooling anybody about. So Mr. Good-looking Trevor with the coif, who's hanging around D.C. trying to hide your MAGA hat, maybe there's something else in the way that you're treating women, even beyond your tolerance for, an anti-woman troll like Donald Trump, that you need to examine more closely.
Right.
Maybe. Just a theory.
Well, moving right along, I don't see it. To me, these folks weren't getting laid to start with, so I just don't see any use in being like, "Ha, you guys aren't getting laid," when they already weren't getting laid. Who cares? It doesn't.
I think what it is that they would be fine getting laid. They could just go to a club and pick up somebody who doesn't care. I think what they want is they think they're going to find the nuclear family with this formula. And a woman might give you, the time of day for 5 minutes, if you can last that long, once in your life. even knowing that you're a Trumpkin. But long-term commitment? Nah, dude. There's something more fundamentally wrong with you than to expect that from a woman.
All right, well, when we get back, according to a new recent Pew Research study, Americans are more divided than ever by political ideology, but it seems that, many of them are realizing that the left-right political spectrum is completely bogus. More on that when we get back here, and hopefully our fountain winner. We get back on the Call to Freedom on LRN.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the final segment of this live broadcast here on the Call to Freedom on the LRN on LRN.FM, and we're not going to really do a whole lot of introductions or anything. We're going to jump right into this because we want to make sure we get it before we get out of here. This is from The Atlantic. It says the left-right political spectrum is bogus. It might be a division between social identities based on class or region or race or gender, but it's clearly not a clash between different ideas. Americans are more divided than ever by political ideology, as a recent Pew Research Center study makes clear. About a third of people on each side of the other say of the other side that its proponents are misguided and threaten the nation's well-being. And they're both right about that. My prescription isn't civility or dialogue, which, though admirable, are boring and, in this case, evidently impossible. Rather, my approach is philosophical. To try to confront both sides with the facts that their positions are incoherent. The left-right divide might be a division between social identities based on class, region, race, or gender, but it's certainly not a clash between different political ideas. The arrangement of positions along the left-right axis, progressive to reactionary or conservative to liberal, communist to fascist, socialist to capitalist, or Democrat to Republican is conceptually confused, ideologically tendentious, and historically contingent. And any position anywhere along it is infested by contradictions. Transcending partisanship is going to require what seems beyond the capacities of either side, thinking about the left-right spectrum rather than from it. The terminology arose in revolutionary France in 1789, where it referred to the seating of royalists and anti-royalists in the assembly. It's plausible to think of the concept, if not the vocabulary, as emerging in pre-revolutionary figures such as Rousseau and Burke. The Oxford Dictionary's first citation of left and right, used in the political sense, in English is in Thomas Carlyle's French Revolution in 1837, but the idea only crystallized fully with the emergence and under the aegis of Marxism in the middle of the 19th century. It was not fully current in English-speaking countries until the early 20th century. Before that, and outside of the West, there have been many intellectual structures for divining and arranging political positions. To take one example, the radical and egalitarian reform movement of the early and mid-19th century in the U.S., such as abolitionism, feminism, and pacifism, were by and large evangelical Christian and were radically individualist and anti-state. I have in mind such figures as Lucretia Mott, Henry David Thoreau, and William Lloyd Garrison, who articulated perfectly coherent positions that cannot possibly be characterized on the left or the right. Lysander Spooner, another one that is quite often forgotten in that. The most common way that the left-right spectrum is conceived and the basic way it's characterized in the Pew Survey is as state against capital. Democrats insist that government makes many positive contributions to our lives, while Republicans argue that it's a barrier to the prosperity created by free markets. I call absolute BS on that statement. On the outer ends, we find pit chairman Mao against Ayn Rand in a cage match of state communism against laissez-faire capitalism. I don't understand why they couldn't mention, I don't know, Larkin Rose versus Bernie Sanders. Anarchism, voluntarism versus democratic socialism. The basic set of distinctions.
Well, because that requires, acknowledging that fair and reasonable and sensible ideologies exist outside of their everybody is an anarcho-communist wanting to burn down the world ideology.
Or an Randian objectivist who cares only about themselves. The basic set of distinctions on both sides rests on the idea that state and corporation, or political and economic power, can be pulled apart and set against each other. But isn't the truth that, like, Democrat and Republican alike have taken that power and actually set it against the public? I mean,
that's what he goes on to say, basically.
Okay. It's let's see here. Blaga. This I propose obviously false, because hierarchies tend to coincide. Let's call that PHC, or the principle of hierarchical coincidence. A corollary of PHC is that resources flow toward political power, and political power flows toward resources, or the power of state and a capacity typically appear in conjunction and are mutually reinforcing. Similar to how you had the great coal strikes, and then, of course, the United States government sent in the military on the side of the industrialists, not the side of the workers who were being oppressed and taken advantage of, and you having violence used against them when they stood up for themselves. It's obvious, I'd say, that PHC is true, and that everyone knows it to be true. A white supremacist polity in which black power were wealthier than white people, for example, would be extremely surprising. It would be no less surprising if regulatory capture were not pervasive. You could keep trying to institute reforms to pull economic and political power apart, but this would be counterproductive, because when you beef up the state to control capital, you only succeed in making capital more monolithic, more concentrated, and more able to exercise a wider variety of powers. Consider the relation of Goldman Sachs to the Treasury Department over the last several decades, or Halliburton and the Pentagon, or various communications and internet concerns and the NSA. The distinction between public and private is rather abstract in relation to on-the-ground overlap. State and economy are merged in different permutations in Iran and Egypt, in China and Russia, and in the U.S. and the EU. We might say that the current Chinese state combines the most salient features of Maoism and corporate capitalism. It's all devoted to generating maximum cash and putting it on a barge. Destination, the very top of the hierarchy. And yet it also attempts to bestride the earth with the iron boot of collectivist totalitarianism. Now, that appears incoherent if you're trapped in the spectrum. A conventional political scientist associates capitalism with John Locke and Adam Smith, and democracy, liberalism, I suppose. On the other hand, since socialists reject free enterprise and propose grand redistributionist schemes, they require a big, powerful state. For a long time, people thought of the Chinese system as combining opposed or contradictory elements. I'd say no one is so sure anymore. We should instead think of the Chinese state as a provisional culmination of both socialism and corporate capitalism. In ideology, they are opposites. But we don't live in the textbook on political ideologies. We live in a world where corporate capitalism is always completely dependent on state power. And the basic practical thrust of left statism has always been annexation of the economy. The Soviet Union was a variety of monopoly capitalism, and the modern American state is a variety of state socialism. Our mistake was that we believed the account that these ideologies gave themselves. The scrim is always thin. Capitalists are theoreticians who fantasize and recommended stateless free markets, and communist theories fantasize over no market at all, glossing over the fact that what they actually meant was the permutation of every aspect of life, including markets, by the state. Well, when we get back tomorrow, we've got a whole lot more on, the evils of government, and I think we'll be covering, something we found out. Turns out most of the weapons for ISIS came from, you guessed it, Saudi Arabia and the United States. So stick around. Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.